everybody. See, this is what happens when you've been gone for too long. There we go. Okay. All right. There. That's better. All right. Um. Hey everyone. Oh wait. Oh man, what happened to my stream deck? Oh, let me see. Oh, maybe it's. Oh, there it goes. Mm. Hey y'all. I am Brian. For those of you who have never seen or heard of me before, and for those of you who are longtime watchers of our streams, welcome back. I have been gone on vacation since the 29th of July. So, um, got back on Sunday night and really needed the time to decompress from everything that had been going on at work and everything, and it was just nice to have a vacation. So um if you went to Vegas, I hope you were safe and masked up and didn't come away with the souvenir that is COVID. I actually got COVID while I was on the cruise ship. Let me see, we hit just the day before Reykjavik, I think, in Iceland, and started feeling a little shitty on the ship. So it was rough, but had a fairly, I would say, a fairly decent temperature. But I knew something was wrong because I don't get sick normally. The seasonal flu and all that stuff. I have fairly well in terms of illness, but this kicked my ass. I was down for, I don't know, a couple days or something with a fairly moderate temperature, and by that time in the cruise, I think it was a plague ship. You have 3,000-4,000 people on a ship, and you're trapped there with a bunch of people. At some point in those 5 days prior, I was exposed to it and ended up getting it, even with 4 shots. So, yeah. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter getting the COVID, and I've seen a number of people testing every day, which, to be honest, I think is probably a waste of testing packets or testing apparatus. If you know, I think it would be easier for you to not test every day and just quarantine for 5 to 7 days, and then if you start feeling shitty, then take the tests. But we didn't exactly have to test on the ship because I felt like shit and I knew it. And, there was only, normally I end up with, a little head cold or something while I'm doing that, but this was a completely different thing. I actually was achy. Um, I could definitely feel the temperature in the ship was colder than normal. Um, so I got the COVID for the first time in 3 years. So that I know of. So, but yeah, hope everyone else is doing well. Um, if I see one viewer, well, that's one more than I expected for this stream. I don't expect to do this one for very long today. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things because, to be honest, I wasn't avoiding streaming. Oh, I know you did not come to summer camp and not stop by. Black Girls Hack, I did not go to summer camp. I don't go to Vegas. I don't like Vegas. Have not been to Hacker Summer Camp at all. I took a European cruise from the 29th of July to the 15th of August. So I was on a Holland America ship, the Rotterdam, out of Rotterdam. And yeah, no, I don't go to Vegas. Haven't felt a real need to because I don't want to say it's hype, but I don't see a value in going to Vegas. I think there are myriad numbers of better conferences to go to. There's B-sides, there's other 44 Con. There's a ton of stuff, and I get it. There are a lot of sub conferences which are great. Definitely go to those if that's a thing you want to do. Yeah, B-sides is awesome. I love B-sides. Seattle, Las Vegas was, of course, the start. I know people who organized that B-Sides. They're actually on our board. I just don't enjoy lots of crowds. So probably won't ever go to Black Hat or DEF CON. I mean, my company actually said, hey, do y'all want to go? And we had a number of folks in our red team go. And I was like, yeah, just not feeling it. Just not feeling it. So, but yeah, if everyone, and like I said, and if you just showed up, I'm not feeling left out. I got COVID like most everyone else did who went to DEF CON and Black Hat. So, it is what it is. So, we're not, I didn't miss out. So on that. So, yeah. I DEF CON, I have seen, virtually is great. I'd love to, start expanding on the virtual conferences. I actually am gearing up for InfoSec Campout next week. So, we still have some tickets for InfoSec Campout. It's, well, let me go see. According to our temperature gauges here. Oh, no. Nope. Would have definitely have gone probably to a lot of the sub conferences instead of Black Hat and or DEF CON. So, but let me see. Browser share. Ding. Okay. So, where's my browser? Oh, you rat bastard. Okay. There we go. This is what the temperature is going to look like potentially. Now, of course, you can tell I'm a little out of practice here with this bit. So there we go. All right. So for those of you who are wanting to attend, it is going to be 32 on Friday, which is about 90-ish degrees. Saturday is going to be in the mid 80s. And so we're, people who are going to be camping are definitely going to be feeling the heat. It's going to get cool at night, 59, looks like 61, 62 in the mornings. But it is going to be a warm one. I was actually more worried about the rain factor than anything else, but the fact that we're not going to get anything in the rain area, I'm actually pleased about, because we can work with hot and sunny because there's a big river nearby. Everybody can go swimming. I'm actually going to bring soaker hoses this year. The costliest reversed weather. Hope was a heat wave, and I saw the videos from DEF CON. They had internet on the ship, however flaky it was. And I think the biggest meme of Vegas was the dude in the floaty going down the river of God knows what. Some of it was rainwater, I'm sure. Some of it was rainwater, to be sure, but I don't know what the other stuff was. Definitely wants to get, should probably check out a tetanus shot when they get back, if they haven't already gotten whatever it was that they're going to get from Vegas runoff. But but yeah, it was interesting video to see there. Somebody cemented themselves into the what do they call that? History, or the annals of history, or DEF CON. So, but yeah, our conference is happening on Friday and Saturday and part of Sunday. We have a lot of things happen just before I left. We got a CTF. The Tour Camp folks are coming back again with their pizza oven. We will be having 2 CTFs. We actually have an offline CTF that Eric Capuano, I think, OpenSock, the OpenSock folks offered. Yeah, us and Hudson River. Yeah, exactly, Hudson River. What? All right, well, come here. All right. I know. Everybody wants to see you. Yes. Okay. Tell the news. Oh, yeah? What's it? Yeah. Meow. Wow. All right. Major point. Go on. But yeah, going to be sending out some emails for our conference just to make sure everybody's going on. But we do have an offline, like, DFIR CTF. That's my mama kitty there, DEF CON. Yeah, that's my mama kitty. Her name is Snowball, but we've always called her Mama Kitty. Yeah, it's just what it is. So, yeah, Eric Capuano, the OpenSock folks, I think. Let me see. Eric Capuano, OpenSock, had an offline one that they did. Yeah, Sans Recon Sec. Yeah. And very generously, when I asked if we could use their offline CTF for digital forensics, said yes. So I've downloaded the artifacts, and we're going to be able to do those as well offline. So if you are interested in doing some CTF stuff, that's going to happen. We're trying to do some infosec related items, but a lot of it is very much a we're trying to just hang out and have fun, and it's going to be outdoors, and I assume there's going to be a lot of discussion. I'll have to find it again, but also we have the tour camp folks. I think they said they only had a couple of people doing their CTF, so we've got them bringing their CTF for that as well. It's like a mud based one where they have a text adventure kind of thing, so that looks kind of cool. We're gonna have old school LAN party, so my little Think server here is our Think Center server is going to be running Quake Arena. So we got Quake 3 Arena. Managed to find a copy online of Quake 3 Arena, not the version on Steam. And I found another couple games that are available that are free. We also have Super Tux Kart, some open source games, but there will be a network. So if two people want to get their Steam accounts set up, or multiple people want to get their Steam accounts set up, they can more than likely do. This was one that I saw that actually runs a server as well. Very, very Doom-like in its capacity of killing things with, and the graphics don't look too bad either for an open source game. Yeah. We do have Quake Arena. I did hear while I was on vacation that, it is actually. I've played it. Well, I would say I played it by myself, but they actually had some bots on there as well. And then there's Super Tux. So this was interesting. So it's like Mario Kart, but for open source mascots. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff. And I also have a movie night. So either Hackers, Tron, I believe Sneakers is available as well. I can pretty much get whatever it is that we want in terms of movies. But I have a big ass speaker. I have a small speaker that I bought for 80 watts of Bluetooth power. So it does actually thump quite heavily. I actually have two of these, but for some reason they don't work in tandem on Windows very well. So one of the things that we had in previous years was the sound quality was pretty garbage. So I have wireless mics in case we actually do want to have a couple talks. A couple of folks did volunteer their talks as well. And so, yeah, we got a grip of things to do. I've actually, the cruise ship I was on actually did a lot of trivia. One of the things, if you take a Holland America ship, at least the ship that I was on, the Rotterdam, if you're good at trivia, you drink free. So, after a while, the trivia guy, was like, well, you can have a deck of cards or you can have a free drink on me. And, we were like, okay, we already have 5 decks of cards, so let's go ahead and get drinks. So I had, I did fairly well on trivia, music trivia, movie trivia, just general knowledge trivia. And so, every other day or so, we'd have a glass of Pinot and, a cocktail or whatever. So, maybe there'll be some trivia for folks. And I have gifts. All right. So one of our CTFs, I got some stuff from Hack5. So I've got a packet squirrel, I've got a key croc, I got a shark jack, I got some goodies from there. So we got some gifts for the for the winners of the contest. And so it's looking to it's looking to shape up to be fairly eventful, and we'll have the barn, so it should be fairly easy to stay cool with it being as warm as it's going to be. But then again, I have a soaker hose. We'll bring that if we want to. But it's looking to be a lot of fun. And we still have tickets. So if anybody's interested, infosecampout.com. Um, we're in the Seattle area or the Pacific Northwest. We're like 30 minutes east of Seattle. So for those of you who aren't aware already. So I have a couple things. I actually have the weekly TI threat intelligence quiz for those who are interested in that. I did week 22 earlier this week because I had been out. But these are fairly good, and they keep you up to date on malware and things that are going on. A lot of good write-ups in there. But I had a question for folks, viewers and listeners and watchers here. How many of you have certifications? If you have one, raise your hand. I have CISP. I have an Agile Scrum product owner. I have product manager, or the CSM, whichever one, Agile Scrum Master. I have a GCIH. I have a GWAP. I find I've been seeing on Twitter for the last, month or so, discussions from Wim Remus about some of the issues that he sees with ISC squared. So let me go. He is trying to run for the board of ISC squared again. And he's got a website about the issue. He actually tweeted earlier because I had posted this up into the r/CISP Reddit, about what was going on, and somebody had said that he looks like the love child of Tom Arnold and Kiefer Sutherland, which I don't see it, but I was like, which Tom Arnold? And is it Lost Boys Kiefer Sutherland, or is it like Designated Survivor Kiefer Sutherland? And which Tom Arnold is it? Like Tom Arnold last week, or like True Lies Tom Arnold, or whatever. Let's decide the point. So full disclosure, I did send him my recommendation for candidacy. He needs 500 of them. Unless something happens in the next 10, 15 days, he won't be added to the election board slate. But he has some issues with the ISC squared board. And, depending on who you follow on Twitter, a lot of people feel strongly in one way or another about certifications. And having been a CISP was my first certification. I got it in 2010. Back when we still had 10 domains. Now we have 8 and change. But it was one of those things where it was the first cert I ever got. Oh, IT professional. Hey, you have a few. Okay. Which ones, if you don't mind my asking? I mean, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine too. But I was just trying to gauge, people, with regards to certs, because some people feel really strongly about them and some people don't. Every other InfoSec pro has their own bias towards every cert. You get whatever HR list. Yeah, see, so IT, you're in the same boat. I kind of was there when I got my CISP. I did, I thought, well, it's actually, I had a really misguided idea that, I was going to be the pimp shit once I got my CISP. If anything, it showed me how big the InfoSec community is, because once I started researching it, I got on Twitter back in 2009, 2010. It was a different world then. And once you started, following, I was listening to podcasts like Paul Security Weekly, and at the time it was Paul Security Weekly, or Paul.com Security Weekly, and Risky Business. I realized just how little I actually knew, and being a CISP didn't really mean much. And I saw a lot of these CISPs that I was CISP holders that I was working with, just kind of sitting on their laurels, if you will. And it was like, oh, well, they don't do anything with it. And that was some of the biggest things that I got on InfoSec Twitter at the time. It was like, oh, you got all these people with their CISPs thinking they're the pimp shiz and they don't do anything with it. And, they're just resting on laurels. And I set out to kind of not be that type of CISP, which is one reason I started the podcast. I did all this other, other stuff because I wanted to pay it forward. I wanted to be an educator. I wanted to be better than the typical CISP person. And yeah, CISP is the only one I really have maintained. Like I said, with the Agile Scrum stuff. Oh, well, I have gotten my SANS research. I have renewed my SANS stuff using like attendance to B-sides and other things like that. But, I got the cert, I got my degree, I got all that stuff because a lot of orgs at the time that was like, oh yeah, you want to be a security analyst, must have a CISP, must have a degree, must have whatever. And I saw those as ways to open doors. And that's what it was for me. And there's a lot of folks out there that are very much heads down, heads down InfoSec. I would say people who think that InfoSec Twitter is what really is InfoSec, I would argue no. And just so everybody knows, I posted up his article and his Twitter today, reddit.com/r/CISP. Let me see, where is it? Yes, something is rotten in Denmark. There we go. And I was actually kind of blown away at the response that we got there from the CISPs, because I have frequented this Reddit from time to time, and the biggest arguments I see is, hey, how did you get in? When will this? I'm having trouble finding CPEs, or what do I do now that I've got my CISP, or different things. So, I was following this and I was like, wow, maybe some of these people, cause there's 48,000 members on ISC Squared's Reddit, or the Reddit IS for CISP. And I was like, maybe some of those people don't know what's going on. Well, the responses to what I've got on here was like, they didn't care. One guy was fairly trolly here. I won't get into the politics of the org. He doesn't care about the measuring of between academics. CISP's not going anywhere and has not degraded one bit, because I said, there's some issues with how people perceive ISC Squared in terms of, what the CISP does for us. And, I've started questioning that myself. It's like, what's the benefit? Are certs just a replacement for experience? Is there a point where I'm not going to need my CISP? Is there... oh, goody. Is there, at some point, am I going to, should I care about the politics of the ISC Squared board? They're going to ask for, the slate of electors that are out there to, be elected to the board. And apparently there's five positions and 5 people set up for the election. So is there even a need to vote if there's 5 people and 5 slots available? That kind of thing. So there was a number of, I don't know if these folks are head down InfoSec, which is what I consider to be the great unwashed masses of InfoSec folks that just, go in, they do their jobs and they go home. And then every once in a while, oh yeah, I have to get some CPEs. I don't know, but I would argue that 90+% of InfoSec is not what you're going to find on Twitter. And it's obvious that this is just a few data points that some of these folks just don't give a shit about ISC Squared. They're going to pay their dues. They're going to get their CPEs, or they're going to scramble to get their CPEs. And that's all they care about. They just care about that. And I guess that's fine. But there's I worry that, because there's been other controversies. EC Council has made some very unpopular moves in recent years. What I'm worried about is ISC squared doing similar things to either water down or make the CISP less useful. And there are, companies out there that hire based on whether or not you have certs or not, which is, somewhat, I would argue, not a good way of, denoting whether or not the person is actually knowledgeable about these things. But um, I guess what I'm trying to ask people is, other than, is there a need to maintain, so IT professional, you have your CISSP, your CEH, your Security Plus, your A Plus, your .NET. If you got, let's say you got your OSCP, would you drop your CISSP at that point? Is IS, if you got a different cert that covered security or more along lines of what you were doing, would you stop supporting your CISSP? Do you consider CISSP a cert that you will always maintain, or is it one that you will just, wait until you get, an OSCP or an OSCE or a, EJPT or whatever it is? I remember the OS was the holy grail for street cred. Now some InfoSec rock stars are crapping on it. That's why I say pay attention to what HR wants. Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only person who feels that way. I just, it's one of those things that it took me a long time to get, kind of like my GCIH and GWAP. And it's like, I don't want to, I'm not going to bag on anybody getting any kind of cert, because those people feel, and like I did when I got my CSP, that it was important to them for their cert. And I was like, nobody should be bagging on people wanting to educate themselves or to improve themselves, no matter how they do it, whether it be, spending hours and hours and hours on Hack the Box or Try Hack Me or Burp Suite Academy or what have you. I just don't think that any one cert should be held higher than any other cert in some respect. If I go through and I complete all the Burp Suite training, that's laudable. That's a laudable achievement. But it should not be like, a requirement is to have a CISP. I know auditors, the CISA stuff, they almost require that as a, a baseline or a table stakes. But yeah, I just worry that, there's a lot of issues here. There, he's mentioned transparency, limiting what, members on the board can communicate. There's specific issues with setting a bar for certain professions. He worked on the ethics board for a while, and he's like, I've never actually, I think there's only been one or two people who've ever had their CISPs. IT professional. I did mine on Scantron, so it was it was like a 6-week wait to find out if I'd passed or not. Nowadays, it's obviously like Pearson VUE or whatever, as soon as you hit submit, whether or not you've passed or not. But so he seems to be running on the platform of workforce shortages and trying to find better ways to hire diversity and getting, filling the workspace or the talent shortages, which is great. Yeah. What's the justification for the $125? And I'm not exactly sure, what the money is for that, but maybe we'll have Wim on at some point in the future. I don't think, I don't think I have to give equal time, because he's not one of the people being elected on the board, but it might be a good discussion to talk about that in those respects. I would imagine that some people don't know his name other than it was on their CISP certification at one time. So, but yeah, I think I still have one of mine from 2010 or 2013 that has his name on it. But yeah, it's just, I had a lot of time to think when I was on vacation, and that was some of the stuff that came up with him. So I was just, thinking out loud with that. It's it's rough because we are so polarizing. But I also remember that people on InfoSec Twitter are just a microcosm of the larger InfoSec community, and there are the number of people who have certs and the people who bag on certs are probably I'd say there's probably more people with certs than the folks that bag on them. So I have to remind myself of that. So so this is week 23. I did week 22, so this is all going to be new for me. Uh before we get started on that, so IT professional, did you have company? Did anybody like reimburse you for your certs? Did you get to go to a boot camp or something? I actually did my CISP after going to a boot camp for a week because I had more than 5 years of security experience, but I the company was actually going to reimburse me for it because it was a requirement to get on government IT systems. So I needed to have the CISSP, or what was it, the GODIAM certification, which I was like, I'm hamstringing myself if I go get that shitty cert. I'll just go get my CISP because that's an industry leading cert. So um, yeah, IT. A lot of folks, there are a lot of study groups out there, and the one thing, I did the boot camp. It was intensive. It was like, if I remember correctly, we studied from 8 to 6. We had a break at lunch, but then we had a break at 6 for a couple hours, and then there was like an evening study. So it was pretty much cram for a week, and then you keep your books and everything, and then you take your test on like the Saturday afterwards, and it was rough. Hands on for the likes of OSCP. I did try to get my OSCP at one time, but the problem was I paid for 60 days of lab time and then could not get the time to actually be in the lab. So I ended up wasting about $1,200 of my time um, that they got for free because I never was able to um, get past some of the exercises. And the one thing that turned me off about the OSCP was asking for help, and you get try harder, ha ha ha, and then it was like, yeah, that's not a positive environment to learn shit in. So you know, just because you have your OSCP doesn't necessarily mean you need to be a D bag to other people. So that's kind of turned me off the OSCP for a while there. All right. So, um, oh, interesting. Okay, so the only reason I know the answer to this one is this pretty much. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. See, for me, OSCP, I was trying to do that while I was working at home, and it was like I I didn't know what I didn't know, and I think that was at the point where I realized I probably was not cut out to be a pen tester, which is why I moved over into like a PM role. So, one second here, I am being paged. I had to dig myself out of about 500 emails while I was on vacation too. Person running it. All right. So the only reason I know this one is because it's blowing up all over Twitter like today in the last few days. Which 1989 hit was responsible for crashing laptop hard drives during the early 2000s? This is Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Was kind of funny. Apparently, so according to the document or the article, um, it gets weird. So you'd have two laptops in a lab. Somebody was playing the video with the audio, and it would cause hard drive certain hard drives from certain laptop manufacturers. I'm assuming like the big ones like Dell or Acer or something like that to crash because there was a acoustic resonance in the song when it would go out over the speakers that would actually cause the laptop hard drives to fail. in some ways. It doesn't affect solid state drives. It didn't affect solid state drives at the time because there were none at the time. But these were like the old 5400 RPM drives. And it actually got weirder because the companies that made the laptops actually knew that there was an issue there, and they actually they put in a filter or something that in their own computers that filtered that out right here. And I'm sure they put, OEMs whose laptops were affected did the workaround Rhythm Nation by including a custom filter in the audio pipeline that detected and removed specific frequencies during audio playback. Chen wonders if the vendor remembered to remove the filter now that it serves no purpose. It makes me wonder if this is like the brown note or whatever. It's like, are there other songs that could do something similar? This is a fairly specific song, and what I wonder is how they figured out that it was Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation was somebody who worked at Dell or whoever it was, played the song on their computer, and when the computer crashed, and they were like, "Oh, well, what caused that issue?" So it was pretty funny. But yeah, that was pretty funny one there. I'll post this link in our stream chat here. But yeah, this one's been blowing up all over Twitter today for some reason. Week 23. So this survey just came out today. So this is why this one is so new. Which UK water supplier? Okay. Which UK water supplier recently confirmed IT disruption due to a cyber attack? If you do know the answer, let me know, because I'm completely guessing on some of these. I haven't had a chance to catch up on all my on my messaging today. So, Thames Water. Nope, it was South Stratfordshire Water. Okay, so it was the one I was like, I don't want that one. That one looks really weird. So let me see, new hack here. So 330 million liters of drinking water to 1.6 million consumers. IT disruption. Robust systems and controls and water supply we have at all times. Quick work of our team to respond and implement the additional measures we put in place on a precautionary basis. Okay. Plop ransomware. Oh, that was Thames Water. Okay. So Thames Water did get hit by ransomware. That one may be a question that comes up later. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. Allegedly access SCADA systems that can manipulate to cause harm. Thames Water is UK's largest water supplier and waste treatment provider. Okay. All right. So that was UK water supply. All right. Oh, by the way, if you want to do this quiz yourself, you can go grab, keep an eye out for that. I'm going to shrink up the browser window. There we go. So you can see the crawl on the bits there. All right. The Signal app disclosed that attackers accessed phone numbers and SMS registration codes for 1,900 users. The breach at which Signal third party was the cause. That one was Twilio. I do remember that one. Actually found out, I think there were 3 people. There was a journalist, I think, at Motherboard that was hit by that. I think I saw, let me see. That was interesting. They said that of the 1,900, like 3 were definitely targeted. So let me see. Where is it? Trues. Okay. More talk about somebody who got banned from DEF CON, suing DEF CON. Let me see. I saw it just about an hour ago, but it's been long. It's been a lot of people commenting. I need to probably clean out my follower list again. So let me see. No, that's not it. No. B-sides. Oh, B-sides Nairobi. Very cool. Okay. Very nice. Anyway, yeah, he's a reporter for Motherboard, so I'll have to go look that up and find that. Maybe I'll post the link to that directly on the Discord as well. So Microsoft reported on Seaborgium, a threat actor targeting NATO countries. What did Seaborgium use for conducting reconnaissance against target employees? I'm going to go with LinkedIn. Yes, because LinkedIn is always a good way to conduct reconnaissance against employees. So, especially if they're trying to attack certain places. This quiz is also a good way of updating your threat intelligence feeds as well. There's several excellent companies or groups that are posting blog posts with excellent write-ups on IOCs and things, not just MS Tick or anybody like that, but Actinium. I like Seaborgium. That is a interesting element name. So, all right, next. Help Systems quarterly threat trends and intelligence report shows a significant increase in which type of email-based attacks. I'm going to say response-based. Okay, good. All right. Response-based email threats targeting corporate inboxes are the highest since 2020. Oh, really? Okay. Let me see. Response-based targeting. 41% of all email-based scams targeting employees during Q2 of this year. Okay. Through April and June, they've analyzed hundreds of thousands of phishing and social media attack targeting enterprises and employees. The report uses data from those attacks to present key trends shaping the threat landscape. Okay. And response-based attacks are what? Let's see. They say highlights the fact social engineering tactics continue to prove effective for criminals. We've seen threat actors continue to adapt 419, vishing, and BEC lures, so it's clear that most threat actors aren't reinventing the wheel, but instead relying on new variants of the same social engineered threats that have proven successful in the past. Yep. Okay. Hybrid vishing, email initiated voice phishing. Oh, that's pretty. Wow, that's telling. All right. Cleafy covered the Sova malware, which added a ransomware module. So Sova is a framework, I'm imagining. Which operating system is targeted by this ransomware? Operating system. I'm going to say, I don't want to say Unix. Unix is Unix an operating system? No. Android. Okay, so it's Android. Okay. Let's go see what this is. I may have to add this one. Let me see. Okay, so full roadmap with future updates of the malware is shown in Figure 1. So wow, they're here's the product management life cycle. Here's how they're planning, the things that they're planning on adding soon. So there you go. Third stage, cookie injections, automatic cookie injections, normal Clipper, DDoS function, GIF accessibility. Wow. So, there you go. There's the product roadmap. If anybody's interested in understanding, where the malware for Sova is going to be heading soon. There you go. Boink. Yeah. Okay. This time, several new codes were added. The most interesting part is related to VNC capability. This feature has been in Sova since roadmap since September 2021. It is one strong evidence that TAs are constantly updating malware with new features and capabilities. Very cool. Okay, well, I mean, this looks like an excellent write-up showing what they plan on doing, along with some code here, different, refactoring and improvement of the code for cookie stealer mechanisms. C2 communications panel. So yeah, interesting. Okay, I have to go back and read that one when I'm done. Next, Cybele covered what they termed a major threat to critical infrastructure sectors. What is this threat? I think I read a story about this one earlier. I think it's internet exposed VNC. Yes, it is. Because for whatever reason, SCADA and critical infrastructure needs them some VNC with no passwords online. I don't know why. Do not know why. Somebody thinks it's a good idea to put a fucking VNC with no password on the internet. So they say, while the demerits of exposing VNC had been previously discussed, there's still over 8,000 exposed VNC instances with authentication disabled as shown below, which pretty much means you can log in and get in with no password and do whatever it is you want. So yeah, okay. So I've seen this. This is I saw a write-up somewhere else, but this is a VNC connection of, oh my God, that's an old ass version. That's what kind of Office is on that box? Icons on that look old. That looks like Office like 2013 or something like that. Yeah, so this was on September 3rd of this year. So that's what? No, wait. No. Day, month, year. So that's March 9th. Sorry. My bad. Ignorant American right here. So there you go. So yeah, this was accessed at, I'm assuming 1311 local time, which would be in some place that uses Cyrillic alphabet. So that would be like super early for us here, like in the Pacific time zone. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand VNC exposed to the internet. I just don't understand it. There are controls that you can put into place that are inexpensive and would greatly increase your security. I just don't get it. And of course, I guess it's easy to buy access to Chinese servers and devices. So RDP, VNC, SSH will sell to large factories. So here's the exposure. They've blanked out a lot of this stuff, obviously. Here's one where you can actually futz with, pumps at a HMI. I don't know what HMI stands for, but yeah. So here's critical infrastructure, how you can futz with that. Good stuff. Yeah. One of these days, I'll see if Hacks can come on and talk to us about why they feel that ICS is so difficult to secure. I'm loath to say just put a firewall in, because I'm like, what just? I hate the word just, but I don't know any other reason why you wouldn't not expose VNC. Insect Group, maybe Insect, reported on the activities of a state-sponsored threat actor from a group labeled Red Alpha, on behalf of which country is Red Alpha appeared to be operating. The 1980s Rocky in me wants to make it believe that it is, Soviet Russia, but but of course, China has a red flag. I don't know. Argentina has a lot of cyber capabilities. Iran technically does some stuff. I'm going to go with China. Yes! All right. That's a good one. All right. Red Alpha conducts multi-year credential theft campaign targeting humanitarian think tank and government orgs. Okay. NGOs. Recorded future. Okay. So that's that. To read the entire report, download as a PDF. Let's see if you have to register to get it. No. Okay. So that's good. Okay. Grab the entire report from there, or you can just read the synopsis of Red Alpha here. There we go. Let's see. Parallel reporting, NGOs, Radio Free Asia, Amnesty International, Mercator Institute, China Studies, American Institute in Taiwan. Red Alpha is attributable to contractors conducting cyber espionage activity on behalf of the Chinese state. This assessment is based on the group's consistent targeting in line with strategic interests of the CCP, historical links to personas in a private company situated in the People's Republic of China, and greater a wider, regularly documented use of private contractors by Chinese intelligence agencies. So, yeah. Good discussion here. Looks like they're going to get into some TTPs. So you've got some stuff you can block on your firewalls and your endpoint security devices, and make some Yara rules or some Sigmas or whatever it is you want to use. Consistent domain naming conventions such as use of my drive accounts, mail dash, drive dash, files dash, strings across hundreds of domains, overlapping who is registrant names, email addresses, phone numbers, and the like. Use of specific server-side technology components and fake 404 not found errors. Okay. I was listening to Risky Business the other day. I forget this. Let me see if I can remember which one it was that I was listening to. It wasn't one of the most newer ones. I'm a little behind. Let me see. They were talking about not world record data breach. It had to do with playbooks. The process is repeatable, then it becomes easy. These folks are wanting to not do a lot of bespoke stuff, so they create playbooks, kind of like you would with an IR tabletop or with any other good process. And if it's repeatable and it works, then they continue using it, and then they update it as they find out that it gets less effective, or they may make a few tweaks depending on if they're trying to go for a big group, but or a major org or something like that. But for the most part, they're going to follow the same. That's why we have TTPs, right? These are the TTPs because this is the playbook that they use. So go ahead and continue and read up on that one. So we're going to go next. We got two more. Unit 42 covered the activities of a group believed to be responsible for the Cuba ransomware attacks. What is the name of the new malware family attributed to the group? Did I read this one? I read this one on vacation. That seems right. I want to say it was Comedy Rat. No, Rom-Com Rat. Damn. Okay. All right. So, Unit 42, using novel tools and techniques, using our naming schema, Unit 42 tracks the threat actor as Tropical Scorpius. Oh, okay. New malware family that they tracked as Rom-Com Rat, new weaponized Privesk exploit to system, new Kerberos tool that Unit 42 tracks as Kerber Cache. Okay, so there's a whole big write-up here on a number of things. So this is from Palo Alto. Unit 42 is Palo Alto's TI group. So you can go check that out. Victimology. Impacting 33 organizations as of July 2022. It used Cuba ransomware to impact 27 additional organizations. So manufacturing is a big one. Legal and professional services. That's an interesting one. Professional services might be like IT, like large IT companies or something like that. Financial services, construction. Okay, healthcare and education are low on the lists, as should be expected. Hopefully, there are some shitbags out there that attack schools and hospitals, but they're fairly low on the list. Sometimes I would imagine these just got caught up in they were scanning entire IP ranges and they happened to just get a hold of a couple of IP addresses for a hospital or something. But there are companies there are actors that knowingly target healthcare and those, especially in if they're. I think China had done a few things like that. Interesting. Okay. All right. So the last one here, F5 expanded on the data exfiltration capabilities of the Blackguard InfoStealer malware. What do they believe to be the malware's most immediately impactful functionality on infected systems? Blackguard InfoStealer. Crypt files? No. Crypto wallets. Oh, really? Interesting. All right. Let's see. Malware strain first discovered infecting Windows at the start of 2022. Other security researchers have already documented how the malware operates and its dissemination via underground Russian crimeware forums. Okay. They distribute Blackguard using a variety of techniques, including drive-by downloads and phishing emails containing malicious attachments. All right, here's a decent. All right, so they've blocked out the IP addresses. Looks like anything 157.26. Not sure how effective a detection scheme would be if could you just say dot 157.26 is anything with the IP address of that? What could you glean from that? Interesting. Okay. So they said what? Active and passive analysis of the CNC panel. We found that the malware records geographical information from the compromised systems, including that Blackguard is used to target victims around the world. Okay, a snippet of exposed zip files containing stolen data from compromised systems showing data from. Oh, okay. So the IP addresses are from actual people? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Analyze compressed files, understand potential storage constructs used. Okay. Files were decompressed into ephemeral virtual machines and subsequently destroyed. It stores stolen data in a specific layout. Okay. That's interesting. That's a different IOC or a TTP that I've not seen before. The how everything is laid out like that. That's interesting. Shows a variety of credentials stolen, including usernames and passwords from e-commerce sites, email services, and internal intranet sites. Okay. Oh, somebody's Roku password. Dang, that sucks. Yeah. Oh, 192.168.0.254. Huh. It could be a pie hole. It could be, somebody's put their NAS on that IP address. That would be what I would expect like a home user. Maybe this is like a home user or somebody who is using their work device also for their home device. Delta.com. So somebody was, booking a flight or something. I don't know. Session cookies, browsing history. Ooh, that one could be a rough one. Money mustache. What? Okay, some of that. Oh, HSBC. Okay, so that's somebody's banking account. HSBC Egypt. Oh, okay. Interesting. And they've captured screenshots. Wow, at regular intervals. Screenshots interacting with systems common tactics since they can reveal sensitive information about the user and present state of the system. Ah, yeah. Credit card numbers. Yeah, like somebody surfing the web here. Personal information leakage. If you're keeping track of, or somebody can, somebody could be taking screenshots right now of what I'm doing. So they would see me, doing this, or, I get on a banking account so they know how much money's in my bank account. They can get my credit card information or account information. So that makes a lot of sense. So, all right. Copy. There we go. That's a good one. All right. So I did poorly. Next. Nope, just show me the score. Oh, I got 6 out of 10. That's not awful. Okay. So yeah, I actually learned this about this site from the DFIR Discord. There's a DFIR Discord with a bunch of folks in it, talking about all kinds of digital forensics items, and just found that interesting with regard to that. So let me see. Anything come up in the last few minutes? 5 principles of a zero trust cybersecurity model. I don't. I don't. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that. Lazarus APT Group targets the M1 chip. Why? Why is that? Doink, doink, doink. Casting a wider net with its ongoing operation Interception, targeting chips with Apple's M1. Continuing its favorite approach, launching phishing attacks under the guise of fake job opportunities. Threat researchers at endpoint detection provider ESET discovered a Mac executable camouflaged as job description for an engineering manager position. So what is it? Yep. Okay. It's PDF. So, hey, we want you to come and work for us at Apple or somebody, here's a link to a PDF with the job description. So you open that and then it does whatever it needs to do. And the binary can compromise Macs powered with both Intel and M1 chipsets. Okay. Interesting. We suspect attackers were in direct contact, so the victim was probably instructed to click whatever pop-up windows showed up in order to see the dream job offer from Coinbase. Oh. Because that was funny, because I saw on Twitter that there was a discussion about Coinbase hiring. Like, I think they were hiring like a senior security person or something like that, which may have or may not have been legit. Now that I've seen that, that was probably 10 to 15 days ago, but interesting if that was not actually from Coinbase, but from something else. What would have been even worse is if Coinbase didn't actually know that people were being used, or some organization was using them as a base to launch attacks. Or, they didn't send out anything saying, hey, yeah, we're not hiring. This is not a legit Coinbase, job or something. I don't know. Ongoing campaign from North Korea remains frustrating for government officials. The FBI blamed Lazarus for stealing. Holy shit. Oh, 625 million in cryptocurrency. Oh my God. Okay. That's a few Dogecoin right there. That's a few Dogecoin. Interesting. I would have issues working for Coinbase anyway, so it is what it is. So just a link to that. Put that in the chat window as well. Twink. Really need to go back and watch these streams to see if I can actually click on the links in stream chat as the video is happening, and see if that's a thing. So, Red Alpha novel, this okay. So yeah, hope, so we've got a few more people coming up. Oh, you know what? It's been a minute since, did you see the Hitchhiker's Guide to DFIR book I posted? I did see that. There we go. Click on that. Okay. Hitchhiker's Guide to DFIR Experiences from Beginner to Expert. Crowdsourced DFIR book from the members of the Digital Forensics Discord server. Yeah, that's from them. That's an excellent. Super Lolly, look at you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Appreciate you for subscribing again. And good early morning to you, by the way. So, yeah, that Discord. That is a serious Discord. There's a lot of people in there. Like, you don't have to spot the Fed. They are proudly telling you they are feds. They actually will, when I logged in, it was like, hey, I'm just a jackass with a microphone and a podcast and just heard about this and wanted to get involved. That's not an earthquake. I bumped the table with my knee, but yeah, they've got a lot of folks in there doing a lot of cool stuff. So, oh, okay. Yeah, I think I can give out an invite, but you also have to let them know who the hell you really are. And this seems like one of those Discords where you don't want to fuck around and find out. So, if you getting up in there and it's like, hey, I want to, be somebody I'm not, you get found out pretty quickly, I would think, if you FAFO. So, but that's an invite to that Discord. I don't think they don't allow that, because I found that online by searching, so it's not like it was overly specific. But yeah, they have a lot of very cool and interesting DFIR channels: computer forensics, network forensics, incident response. They put out a bunch of tooling. The Sockville quiz is where I found out about that. Hey, Kimisek, how you doing? Thanks for coming and hanging out. But yeah, IoT forensics, that was another one that was really interesting for me. I haven't looked on this one in a few days, which is why and it's very active. It's very active. Um, so yeah, if you are interested at all in incident response, digital forensics of any kind, even a drone section. Oh, vehicle forensics, great. I haven't seen that one in a bit. So, um, not too bad. This is first stream back since vacation, so was regaling people with my COVID story that you got COVID on a cruise ship. So used to be you just get the nice norovirus, but COVID was rampant on the ship that I was on. So yeah. So we've had more than a few people follow us in the last 15 days. So GNU user. J Miller 42, Shecky, thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. Sys Element, the Milton Henry, Easy Beastie followed us 15 hours ago. Probably would have had more people if I'd been hooking up. And of course, Super Lolly resubscribed for another month. I appreciate you doing that. So 4 months, glad I could stick around this long. So thank you so much for that. But yeah. Oh, and I have a Discord as well. I did get more than a few people asking if they could join that while I was on vacation. We're still doing stuff on there. I'm actually trying to figure out, because the other thing I was thinking about while on vacation was, what am I doing with the stream? And I want to continue doing the Try Hack Me stuff, or the what's that? Hack the Box stuff. I actually engaged the Hack the Box folks because I wanted to see if they could run a CTF for us. And because they have good product, it's just a little outside our price range. And I was like, hey, maybe we could talk about a sponsorship or something. BreakSec is, and the IEF, our nonprofit, is very particular about who we sponsor with, because we don't want it to be snake oil salesman, anybody blockchaining up the AI MLs, whatever's, there's a lot of technology out there that's garbage. And then there's a lot of technology that's actually really good that maybe doesn't know how to sponsor or do things with that. So, yes, Kimisek, Hack the Box is good. They know it. That's the problem. They know they're good, and they can charge whatever the hell they want, which is good for them. And you know what? I would have been all in on them, but it was a little, like I said, a little outside our price range for what we're going to do for a simple, 30, 40 person conference, and it required internet access because we're camping, and, it's going to be really up to the people who are, if you want to tether to your phone, to your laptop, and, do a CTF in 90-degree weather. Yeah, let's go do that. But yeah, it was like, how many people are actually going to do the CTF? Is it worth the cost involved in that? And then I was like, well, I could try to figure out how to do a CTF myself. But then just before I went on vacation, somebody said, hey, we can run the one that I did at Tour Camp. And I was like, yes, let's do that. And then while I was on vacation, Eric Capuano from OpenSock said, hey, here's our offline, one that you can do for digital forensics if you want to do that. And I asked for permission to do that, and he said, yes, no problem. So we're going to have that one available for folks if you're really just hard up for a CTF at a conference. And I think I already mentioned our prizes for that, but we're going to have LAN parties and stuff like that as well. So I'm hoping just to have a bunch of people who just want to come out and roast some weenies and, have some pizza and, just sit around and, have a good time in the out of doors and hopefully not get COVID. So it is what it is. And Kimisek, thank you again so much for subscribing again for 5 months. That's pretty awesome. Thank you again. Crowdsourced DFIR book. I actually want to buy that, so I don't want to be free. I'll buy that later. I don't know if I have to put in any kind of thing, but one of the things I wanted to talk about now that I have, because right now the next milestone for me is going to be moving to San Diego, so I won't hopefully have any kind of long block like this. Uh, well, Kimisek, we're going to be in San Diego in about 8 months, so maybe we'll be able to meet one another if I come to Vegas or you come to San Diego. So you can have that going for you. Um, I'm all up for ideas on how to do the stream. I want to continue doing like the Hack the Box Academy stuff and whatever, but I want to try to find ways that set myself apart and set BreakSec apart from uh, other streams of folks who are doing things. Like MT Taggart does a lot of great stuff with setting up home labs and getting into the meat of things. Um, I enjoy interviewing people. Of course, I can't expect to have an interview for every stream that I have. So there's I'd love to do some uh, you know not hacking competition or like a hackathon kind of thing, but I've always wanted to go to a GitHub for some software that, maybe is fairly popular or whatever, maybe do some code audits on those things. I don't know the first thing about doing a code audit, but I think that's probably a good way to just jump in and learn how to do something. Write some bugs up, uh, Git pulls, that kind of thing to help improve some kind of open source project. And that actually was inspired by finding out how many open source games there are out there. And there's a ton of tools out there also that could probably benefit from some code review, which nobody probably does except the head developer or the only developer. So please feel free to join the Discord. I'd love to get your ideas on that. If you are a subscriber here or a Patreon supporter, would definitely love to get your input on that. We do a bunch of discussions inside our Discord on different things. We posted, so that's how I knew the Janet Jackson thing, because I posted it up at 7:22 this morning. We are moderated. We do have a code of conduct. We actually have a like a level up announcement kind of thing. So it shows just how much you're supporting the community by getting your various levels here. If you're interested in hanging out and doing that, we have a job board. We are very upfront about our mental health support for folks. I have a bunch of old retired laptops and smartphones I was thinking about taking apart for educational purposes. Something like that might be a good thing. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about smartphones, a lot of people think if it doesn't have a cell phone plan in it, that it's pretty much useless. But our daughter had one for the longest time that just ran on Wi-Fi, and I used an iPod Touch with only Wi-Fi just tethered to my phone for a work device. I mean, a lot of people think, well, if they're not trading in that device, then they're going to toss it out, but it can work as a work device or something that you can use to, put applications on that, maybe you don't want to corrupt or pollute your other device on. If you want to side load some stuff, you can actually take the time to root that device and see what you can do with it as well. So, yeah, see, Kimisek, exactly. I mean, when I worked at CrowdStrike before, they were like, oh yeah, we put everything on your personal phone. I was like, yeah, no. So I bought an iPod Touch. Phone, email, chat, messaging, Octopush at the time. All of that stuff was on the iPod Touch, and when I was working at home, it was connected to Wi-Fi anyway, so I didn't need a cellular data to do that. So I think a lot of people think it has to be expensive to carry around a second device or unwieldy, but you don't have to have a 6-inch pixel to do so. You could just get a POS device from like Cricket Wireless or something with like a 5-inch screen or whatever. So yeah, so I'm looking for ideas. Like I said, there won't be any long vacation thing again until probably around May or June of next year, when we're actually going to start moving, and then I'll have something there for that. So, but yeah, looking for ideas. I'm more than willing to continue doing the Hack the Box stuff. But this is stream for y'all. I mean, I want to put out content, or I want to do things that are interesting to you. I've always wanted to do some RP, role playing stuff as well. So, it doesn't even have to be infosec related. We could do, role playing games. We could do, I actually thought about, have some backdoors and breaches. I know MT Taggart and them do that. We're going to have a couple copies of these for the conference as well, so people can play backdoors and breaches if they want to. I've actually never played these. As you can see, they're still in the original cellophane, so I have actually yet to play them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when that, when we actually crack these open and play them. So, but yeah, core deck number 2. Oh, interesting. I'm wondering if I'm missing a deck. Or maybe this is version 2. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, well, I think I actually have a meeting, a work meeting, in about 15 minutes that I'm going to have to attend. So I'm going to go and, just trying to pull the Band-Aid off. There was a little trepidation to get back on and stream this week. I don't know if YTT Retro showed up. She was talking about getting 5 gig fiber internet in her house. Wanted to see how that went. She said it was supposed to happen between 14 to 1600 Pacific time. So maybe the fact that she isn't on or hasn't commented means that they're having issues up there where she lives. So hopefully she'll get her. I don't know what I would do if I had 5 gig symmetric fiber optic internet. I mean, I can't imagine they have data limits on that, or I'd imagine they have data limits on that. Because I would set that up to torrent legitimate Linux ISOs a lot. a lot. Anyway. But yeah, I had a good time in Europe. If you have a chance to go to Europe, COVID aside, it was really, really great time. We went to Norway. Iceland is fantastic. Went to Invergordon, got to go see Loch Ness. Just bucket list items. When I lived in the Midwest, didn't have a lot of money. The idea of vacation for us was traveling 12 hours to the middle of Illinois to see friends. We never went to Disneyland, never went to Disney World. We never flew anywhere. And so my daughter is actually getting to do a lot of the stuff that I wish I'd been able to do when I was younger. And so, like I said, COVID aside, Europe is always awesome. I ate far too many pastries and, suffered for it, but it was, oh man, those were so good. Anyway, but yeah, glad y'all could come and join me today. I will try to be back on this weekend. Actually, I think we'll probably do a BreakSec Sunday evening with Mr. Betcher and Miss Berlin, hopefully. Because we just dropped, Sysmon. Yeah, we had dropped part 2 with Miss Berlin and Mr. Betcher on Sysmon, but apparently there's been a major release come out. So version 14, came out on the 16th. Some major changes, added some new things. Let me see, where was it? Somebody had just talked about the news. Sysmon, yeah, there we go. So this was another thing, Sysmon. We'd talked a little bit about what the use of it and some of the things. They've added a bunch of new things. So lets you block the creation of malicious executables, exe, DLLs, and sys files for better protection against malware. Kimisek, if you're gonna this is me at regular speed. I hope you've got pitch correction. I hate to think I sound like a chipmunk or something. All the podcatchers I thought these days have pitch correction, but I tend to try to listen to my own podcasts and everything at about 1.25 speed. So yeah. So they have the schema updates, file block executable configuration used to block the creation of executables based on path, name, hash, and program trying to create the file. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I saw that it came out like the day after we posted Sysmon discussion that Miss Berlin and Mr. Betcher and myself did back before I went on vacation. So, um, so this was cool. It's a major update, and you can block typical staging directories or double extensions. Okay, so I don't want to kill y'all with the ref stuff. See, Kimisek, my old ass ears, I can't grok stuff at 1.6. I've tried, and I use was it Podcast Addict, I think. Yeah, I think I use Podcast Addict. Even at 1.6, I can hear it, but I don't grok it. It doesn't come across. It just comes as ear noise or something when I'm out walking. So, oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff coming out of, here's a Sysmon config file. Ooh, that's a good one. There we go. Florian Roth. Yeah. Tobias Burkhardt. Yes. Cobalt Strike named pipes. That's cool. Printer Nightmare, Hive Nightmare, repo configs. So there you go. You can add this export file for Sysmon to help protect your systems if you want to do it that way. Cyber War Dog. Yeah, there we go. I love Cyber War Dog. Excellent person. So, all right. Well, got 8 minutes to my next meeting. I'm going to bounce. We'll be posting up our next stream, hopefully this weekend. Hope you'll be able to join us. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, hit us up on our Discord, discord.gg/breaksec. We'll have a chin wag with you if you've got an idea for something you want to do, like Kimisek. If you want to do an unboxing or was it tear downing? It'd be a tear downing, I guess. Let me know. We can do a couple of videos or something there with tear downing of an old laptop or something like that if you want to do something like that. Anyway, hope everyone has a good rest of their day, rest of their week, and go take vacation if you can. I wouldn't say any good virtual CTFs coming up. IT professional. If I guess it depends on what kind of CTFs. There's a CTF board. Let me see. CTF calendar. Yeah, there we go. So CTF org has a pretty decent CTF. There you go. CTF calendar, of course, they've DEF CON, Shelt, CTF, Paradigm. No, it's okay, IT. Hacker Playground starts on the 22nd. It's Jeopardy format. Attack Defense. So that's was that a HIT Hack in the Box? HITB. CTF. Some of these may not be available online. But yeah, so Oh. Yeah, I had what was that? I had an LG phone that I was like, I noticed it was starting to get larger, like it was growing or something. Not exactly sure why it did that, but I ended up having to replace the battery on that because I kept squeezing on it. I was like, oh, well, this is normal, right? And then I was, oh, yeah, right. You squeeze it too hard, it'll probably, explode or, catch on fire. And I was doing it in a car, so, that was super safe. Let me see. CTF calendar events. There we go. Yeah, CTF time. There's a number of them on that site there, IT Professional, if you wanted to take a look at those. You may also check out a couple of other Discords. I know the DFIR one, I think, had CTFs that happen regularly. I want to say the InfoSec server community has CTF time. So they have specifics as well. Sync CTF, that was quite a while ago, but they do have links to Hacker. There you go. Here's Hacker. See if that link still works for you. Link. Give that one a shot. See if that one's still available. I can't guarantee that still works, but no, page isn't working. Okay, apologize for that. I can't delete that one. So that one's no worky. No worky. Okay. Anyway, all right. Thank you all for coming. Have a good day. Go check out our Discord. Go check out our podcast, breakingsecurity.com. And thank you all so much for your subscriptions and for your follows and your likes. And, thanks again. So y'all have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Bye.